Hey guys, Mr. Mac here. So a lot's been going on, a whole lot. I haven't done a whole lot of videos this election season. As I believe I said in my last video, I've been kind of remaining a little quiet, and I will probably do a video on my take on what's been going on, but not yet. I think I'm going to wait a little bit. However, that being said, I hope everybody is doing well and staying safe. And I wanted to bring about a question that I got asked earlier this week. One of my students in a class discussion pretty much asked, why do we need school when we can learn everything we need in the real world and on social media? Okay, so, well, first of all, real world experience. Valuable lessons, absolutely. Actual experience can teach us more than we can imagine. I mean, there's a reason why a lot of older people have a lot of wisdom, because they've experienced so much. I mean, it's no guarantee. It just depends on the person. It depends on their life experiences and what they've come to understand. But life experiences can teach us so much. There's a reason why we say you learn something every day. You cannot go a day without learning something. A lot, and most of that comes from what we experience in our daily lives. And so I want to encourage that, to learn from experience. This is how we learn. And this is another reason why a lot of us teachers don't always succeed, this is true, but we try to bring different activities and projects into learning to kind of get hands-on. And in history classes, we try to bring in primary sources actually from history, so you can actually get experience looking at real documents. Yeah, granted, there may be a copy of them, but still, the point applies. So I don't want to discredit that. Go on, experience life, learn from it. Learn. You learn from your successes. You learn from your failures. You can learn from observations once you learn how to do that. I mean, I'm saying learn a lot, but still. I can say I've probably learned more from my failures and observations than I have from my successes. I can. But you have to pay attention. We all have to pay attention to what's happening around us in order to learn from those experiences. So, yes, real world, just living out in the world, you learn a lot. This is true. Absolutely. But you also don't want to discredit what you can learn in school. So, one of the biggest reasons why we go to school is we learn how to learn. That's one of the biggest things I got out of my time, at least into high school. I did learn some other things, a lot of things actually. The more you pay attention, the more you're going to learn. The more you put into something, the more you're going to get out of it. I mean, a lot of people get tired of hearing that, but it's true. You're not going to get anything out of it if you don't put something into it, if you don't put in any effort. So if you don't put in any effort into school, you're not going to learn much. You got to try. You got to learn to ask for help when you need it. As I've said in earlier videos, ask questions. It's okay to ask for help. It's a good thing. So we learn how to learn in school. It helps us to do that. Now, everybody learns differently. I mean, there's debates on whether learning styles are a real thing, but we are different. We experience different things. We process information differently as individuals. So, from that sense, yeah, we do kind of learn differently. There's there's a lot of wiggle room there. There's a lot of debate there. But from my take, yeah, we learn differently. There can be debate. I mean, maybe there isn't as many different learning styles as some argue. Maybe there are. I'm not really going to get into that here. But we're all different. We experience different things. And us teachers, I think we can agree that in observing our classrooms, observing our students, they don't all process the same way. We don't all process information the same way, just like us teachers. We don't teach the same way. We're all a little different because we're different. We have different styles. So, that being said, I mean, to try and get back on track here, we do learn how to learn in school. So, whether you realize it or not, whether you want to, whether you choose to realize it or not, we are constantly learning something in school, something that will help us later on. We may never see it, we may not realize that it's helping us. But there's lessons that I learned in high school that I didn't think were mattered until fairly recently in life. So trust, just hang in there. If you're a student watching this, hang in there. Just give it your best. Try to get through it. Life is difficult. We have other things in this world. You know, I worked full time and went to school full time, so I know it is hard. But don't give up. Don't give up on school. Stay with it. Okay? You may not be a college bound. And us teachers, we need to realize not all of our students are college bound, and that's okay. There's a lot of other paths in life. There's trades, there's different paths in life. So it's okay to not go to college. And I think a lot of teachers will be honest with you and say that, yeah, it's okay if you don't want to go to college. That's fine. Maybe it's not your path, but still get through high school. Still get through primary and secondary school. Then you have the rest of your life to figure it all out. It took me a while to figure out that I was going to be a teacher. I didn't go to school right away to do that. So it's okay. But now, before I close, and again, if you have any questions and you want to go into anything I say deeper, please let me know. Leave a comment, shoot me a message, whatever. But one more thing that I want to talk about, and I think it's really important before I leave, is social media. Going back to the question that's kind of started off this whole talk. We can learn from social media. Okay, social media was designed to be an outlet for people to connect. It wasn't designed to be a primary source of information. And nowadays I see so many people treating it that way. That is not what it is. Connect, communicate. That is social media. Express yourself. So yes, some information can be shared and learned. I'm not going to deny that. You can actually learn a fair amount from social media. But are you learning what you need to? It is a great tool for human observation. Amazing tool. Coming from an anthropology background, it is fantastic for human observation. You can learn so much about people. But as far as hardcore facts, news, what's going on in the world, politics, you're getting primarily people's opinions. And unfortunately, people's opinions are not always based in fact. I'm guilty of it. I have certain opinions that are not based in fact. I have before. I try to adjust, I think we all probably should, but opinions aren't always based in fact. And when you have a whole outlet that is pretty much everybody sharing their own opinion, you're probably not going to get all the facts. And in order to get all the facts in this day and age, you kind of have to go out there and look for it. News sources can be biased. I'm not going to get into fake news, okay? But news sources have their bias as well. They do have choices on what they report on and how it's reported. There is leeway there. But most of them are still going to be a much better source than social media. So, yes, you can learn a fair amount from social media, but it may not be what you think you're learning. So be careful with it. And I think what we've been seeing over the past few years, several years now, really, and it just keeps building, is you have to be careful with social media and the information that you buy into. And it goes back to one of my first videos. Ask questions. If you see somebody post something on social media, don't take it for what it is. Please ask more questions about it. Look into it a little deeper. And I do see people doing that, and thank you for doing that. But you have to be careful. Social media can be a very useful and very powerful tool, but like anything that can be useful and very powerful, it can also be very dangerous. And I think we have a lot of evidence out there that proves it, with people trying to influence others in order to do certain things. How a lot of misinformation gets spread on social media. So again, I'm not getting really into specifics. I can go more into detail if somebody asks, but this is more of a general statement. And I hope more and more people listen to that. And I hope more and more people get more careful with social media, because it can be very dangerous, and it is. Don't get rid of it, because it's very useful. And I'm not asking for all this to be more heavily regulated necessarily, but we as people need to be smarter and think more critically. A lot more critically. So, as always, thank you for watching any of my videos. Please let me know what you think. I love feedback. Because I like to give feedback to my students. So whether you're a teacher, whether you're a student, whether you're somebody just tuning in, ask a question, provide some feedback. As long as it's honest and useful and not just hateful, I welcome it. So stay safe. See you all soon.